Hey guys, today we're in 2 Samuel chapter 16. As David was going up the mountain, he came across the man to Seba. We saw him back in chapter 9. He was the servant to Mephibosheth. Right? So he comes to Seba, and Seba has donkeys and raisins and bread and fruits and wines. He is coming to bring David a lot of things. And David says, "What are you doing this?" And he says, "I'm here for you. I'm bringing this for you and for your people." He says, "Right now, my master, Mephibosheth," right? He said he's in Jerusalem saying that today the house of Israel will give me back the kingdom of my father. He's saying basically, when David and Absalom get in this battle and they kill each other, then Mephibosheth will become the heir of the kingdom, right? Remember, Mephibosheth is the son of Jonathan, who had the issue where he could not walk. And so he says, hey, David's gonna kill Absalom, Absalom's gonna kill David, and then lo and behold, I'm an heir to the throne. And so Seba leaves him to bring David aid. And here, David blesses him, and he says, now everything is yours. He says, hey, I'm going to honor your loyalty. And so Mephibosheth won't have anything. And now to his servant, to Seba, you will have everything. And when King David came to a place, a man came out of this place who was related to Saul, and his name is Shimei. Okay, Shimei, it's how you would pronounce it, Shimei. Shimei comes out because he comes out and he sees David. He sees an entourage with David, lots of David's warriors and people, and he loses his mind. He's cursing at him. He's throwing rocks. He's doing this. He's doing that. And basically, the mighty men, right, the secret service of David said, hey, well, let's kill this guy. This guy is crazy. I'll cut off his head. But David, seeing the good things that God does, and he says, no, who are we? This man thinks we're coming to attack him. We are not. But the Lord has him to say something to us. The Lord has him worked up in this way, so let's let him do this, right? And so basically he tells him, hey, my son is trying to kill me. I'm not coming to kill you. I've got my own problems, right? Absalom is trying to take me out. And so basically, they went along, they left him, and they move on past him, letting Shimei just kind of go crazy. But it says he comes to the Jordan River, and notice this, and there he refreshed himself. There he refreshed himself. When it says that he refreshed himself, it's not just water and shade and food, which there would have been plenty by the Jordan River. But remember, we just saw that he got loaves of bread and raisins and fruit and wine and saddled donkeys. So when it says he refreshed himself, it's not just physically, but spiritually, mentally, emotionally, right? He come to a place where nobody's trying to kill him, nobody's after him, and he becomes peaceful. He becomes one with himself again, right? So when it says refresh himself, it's not just physically that he's come to a conclusion, right? He's become kind of come back dialed in to the relationship that he has with the Lord. Now we get a focus onto Absalom. Now, Absalom is in Jerusalem. We saw that last chapter, but now we see the inner workings. He comes in. And basically, we see that David's aide comes and he says, hey, are you with David? Are you with me? And David's aide says, no, I'm for the king. I'm for the throne, right? Whoever sits on the throne, whoever serves Israel, that's who I am. And so Absalom lets him stay in. But then Absalom goes to Ahithophel, which is David's advisor, right? And he says, hey, what should I do? What should happen? What's my next step? And we see here he gives him advice, and it says, verse 21, go into your father's concubines. Basically, go into your father's sex slaves, and because this is how you're going to grow your nation. Your offspring will come from these sex slaves, from these concubines. Now, some things that you don't know, you got to kind of piece some things together, right? But Ahithophel is the grandfather of Bathsheba, okay? And so you got to put some pieces together through the last chapters. Elam was his father, and Ahithophel is Elam's father. And so here, this is bad advice, right? Of course it's bad advice. It's not godly advice. And so Ahithophel says, hey, go into your father's concubines, meaning that there's no way that David and Absalom are going to come together and have reconciliation. This is such a heinous sin and crime that it is punishable by death, right? This is not a good thing. So he tells him to do this and to grow his throne by having offspring with these concubines. This is not godly. This is not right. This is a sin not only against them, it is a sin against David, sin against him. So this is not a good thing to do. But Ahithophel has a little sense in that as David went into his granddaughter, right? And once again, I don't think it was rape. I think it was consensual. But we don't know. But nevertheless, what happened? He goes into his daughter, kills her husband, and now she's just one of many wives of the king, right? So now he's giving some advice of maybe making him feel good that this was done to his granddaughter. So he gives this bad, terrible advice. But then we see in verse 23, now in those days, the counsel of Ahithophel was one as one consulted the word of the Lord. So was all of his counsel by Ahithophel esteemed, both by David and by Absalom. It says that the counsel of Ahithophel was godly. It was good through all of David and through all of Absalom, except for this one piece where he says, go into your father's concubines. If you remember last chapter, David prayed, he asked the Lord that Ahithophel would give bad advice. Well, he doesn't. He gives godly advice throughout the whole reign of David and of Absalom, except for this one piece of information, this one part of going into your concubines. And this is going to be what destroys Absalom. And so the Lord answers David's prayer, allows this to happen only this one time, but that's all that is needed. This one time of bad, bitter advice will take him down. And it's the same with us, right? One piece of bitterness inside of us will destroy not only a kingdom, but it will destroy us. And that's why so much through the Gospels we see Jesus talking to Christians, that Christians are set apart. People who follow Christ are set apart because they forgive. How much do we forgive? Bitterness will get in and it will destroy us. And we are going to see in the next couple of chapters how it will destroy Absalom. And it will prove to us exactly what Jesus was teaching us, that bitterness is bad. And we need to forgive people so that not only they can move on, but that we can move on and that we can grow. Sin keeps us separated from the Lord. We have to let it go. Hope that makes a little bit more sense, and we will see you tomorrow in chapter 17. God bless.